This is a bill that was an attempt to find some middle ground with regard to an earlier bill that we passed with regard to funding some firefighters for a ladder. Turns out that we missed a deadline in terms of getting that class on board, and that the administration really was looking for some capital on these other two fire stations that were short. So what this bill does, we tried to work with the administration to find a way to sort of do both. And we're not going to get the firefighters on deck as fast as we'd like, but we will get them sooner than was initially planned, and we get some capital dollars to work into those stations. No, Councilor Benton, this is actually not in my district. A lot of this is happening in Councilor Benton's district and Councilor Sanchez. So, Councilor Benton, in terms of this bill, do you want to say some other things about it?
Well, I know that there's been some back and forth with regard to the firefighter class and so forth, but I just want to say that Station 2 for our district is something I've been fighting for 5, if not 6 years, and scratching together any way we can the support and the money for it. We originally were going to remodel Fire Station 2, but I've been convinced that the right thing to do is to build a new station. And we also went through quite the difficult negotiations with the university, but the sites are in place for both of these stations, and I'd really like to see them move forward.
Thank you, Councilor Benton. Councilor Sanchez?
Thank you. I have one question for the Chief, if he's still here. Chief Bream? And I know this is a concern of mine in regards to the ladder truck on Albuquerque's west side. Councilor Lewis and myself introduced and passed legislation on an 8-1 vote. It passed. The mayor signed the bill on the issue regarding the ladder truck and also the issue regarding the class. The day the bill was passed was the day the class started. And you said it was too late at that time to get more firefighters into the class. I mean, the class is probably about ready to graduate or close to graduation now. When are we anticipating getting that ladder truck on Albuquerque's west side? Because I know that you made the statement that there was a critical need and that was a priority for the fire department.
Mr. President, Councilor Sanchez, the ladder truck will be ordered in January when the funding is available, and the truck has usually about a 9-month build out. So the earliest that apparatus will be in town will be September, October timeframe, and that would include some of the local equipment that has to be installed.
Weren't we going to put something on the west side at Station 17 prior to that? Because I'm looking here at the bill, and it looks like it states here available at Station 17 by July the 1st of 2012.
That's feasible. That's a possibility. I guess it depends on some of the legislation. I know this one was de-appropriating some of the funding for the 15 positions, and we don't believe, based on retirements, that we'll have that staffing available at any rate. So the earliest we could start a cadet class would be mid-February with a graduation of mid-June, feasibly putting the truck in service July, the second week of June of 2012.
And, I mean, will the administration make a commitment to put the truck in service if we pass this legislation?
I'll defer. It depends on a couple of things. I think what I'd like to do, though, is kind of explain our staffing on the west side is adequate, and the Albuquerque Fire Department deploys twice as many firefighters to every structure fire in the city based on NFPA standards. The standard is to have 15 firefighters on scene as part of the first alarm assignment within 8 minutes. We're sending 30 to every fire. Ladder functions can be carried out by other companies. Every company has its own unique capabilities, and a smart incident commander assigns resources based on their arrival and incident needs. And so the West Side Ladder is a needed resource, but we're adequately protected today. And so it is my belief that we can have a cadet class in February, graduate it in June, feasibly putting that truck in service July 1st.
Again, Chief, regarding your statement, you put out a memo saying there was a gap in service on Albuquerque's west side, And that's why we put the resolution together to get the funding for the ladder truck sooner than later. If we can have some guarantees that we can have the ladder truck up and running by July the 1st of 2012, I feel much more comfortable with this legislation here.
And I really was disappointed by your answer just now, Chief. I said you're going to have to defer. You're the chief. Who do you defer to? Are we going to have it on July 1 or not?
We feasibly could have one July 1st. Now, if the FY13 budget hasn't been passed yet, so if you make the appropriation, we could have that ladder in place.
If we pass this bill, will you do it?
We can do it.
Will you? If this bill passes tonight, will you?
Mr. President, I think that would depend on the FY13 appropriation, wouldn't it?
Okay. Got it. Councilor Lewis?
Thank you, Mr. President. And the fact is, you could do it now, though, Chief. I mean, this is really troubling. I mean, it is troubling because you're saying right now, and I hate to put you on the spot here, but it really is it's troubling that now you're saying that it's adequate on the west side. And it's just not what you said earlier this year, Chief. And I'm sorry to even bring this up again, but you told every firefighter in this city that we had a major gap right now on the west side, that people on the west side were not safe, that we were not adequately covering it, and that we needed the ladder capabilities right now. And to say right now, I just wondered if you'd be willing to be able to write every one of those firefighters and to be able to somehow communicate to the people on the west side that, you know what, I was wrong 3 or 4 months ago. I was absolutely wrong when I sent that out and when I communicated that. That now things are fine. Otherwise, can we not right now use this money? You know, without this bill, we ought to get to $600,000 right now. Could you not put an engine truck with ladder capabilities that we know we have that, and we can convert it to a ladder capability, and use overtime on some of the firefighters that we have right now, and have this capability at ladder 17 right now that would be providing this service to the west side?
Mr. President, Councilor Lewis, it's a little more complicated than that. The fire department's engaged in a long-term planning process. That's where this came from. We saw an opportunity to move resources out of Station 29 and redeploy them to cover places in the city where we wanted to increase service throughout the city. That was the placement of the West Side Ladder. We've never intended this to be a crisis-type situation. It's something that we're always trying to do. We're always trying to improve the service delivery to our citizens using the available resources and the funding that's available. So in this case, moving that